How Princess Margaret broke royal tradition with her wedding tiara. Princess Margaret was a true royal rebel, someone who consistently did things her own way, even when it came to her wedding day. Unlike most royal brides who traditionally borrow a tiara from the crown jewels, Margaret made a bold decision that perfectly reflected her independent spirit. She bought her own tiara. This wasn't just any tiara, but the iconic Poltimore tiara, which she purchased at an auction in 1959. And here's the twist. At the time, she wasn't even engaged. Margaret's choice of tiara was just another example of how she often challenged royal protocol and age-old traditions. The Poltimore tiara wasn't handed down from a royal family member or borrowed from Queen Elizabeth's extensive collection. Instead, Margaret chose to make it her own. This decision marked her as someone who wasn't afraid to break the mold. The history of the Poltimore tiara is just as fascinating as the woman who wore it. It originally belonged to Lady Poltimore, who purchased the tiara from royal jeweler Gerard back in 1870. The piece was passed down through Lady Poltimore's family until it eventually ended up in the hands of her grandson, the 4th Baron Poltimore. He put the tiara up for auction in 1959, and that's when Princess Margaret seized the opportunity to make it hers. At the time, she paid around $7,000, which was a considerable amount back then. Now, what makes the Poltimore tiara so special? For one, it's incredibly versatile. The tiara is convertible, meaning it can be taken off its frame and transformed into other pieces of jewelry. It can be turned into a fringed necklace and, impressively, 11 brooches. The tiara is designed with an entire row of cushion-shaped and old-cut diamond clusters, which alternate with delicate scroll motifs encrusted with even more diamonds. On top of each scroll sits an old-cut diamond terminal, giving the tiara its regal and timeless appearance. Princess Margaret's wedding day was one for the books. The Poltimore tiara, sitting atop her head, complemented her ethereal Norman Hartnell gown. It was the perfect crown for a princess who always stood out from the crowd. The tiara quickly became one of her most beloved pieces, and she wore it on numerous occasions throughout her life. Unlike other royals who might reserve their most valuable jewels for only the grandest events, Margaret frequently wore the Poltimore tiara, making it a staple of her wardrobe. After Princess Margaret's passing in 2002, the Poltimore tiara was sold at auction to a private buyer in 2006 for an astonishing about $1.7 million. But even that figure pales in comparison to what it's worth today. As of 2023, experts estimate the tiara's value to be around $5 million. That's nearly 60 times what Margaret originally paid for it. The Poltimore tiara isn't just a piece of jewelry, it's a symbol of Princess Margaret's unique spirit and rebellious nature.